the reason that your path isn't lighting up for you in a clearer way. And clarity,
is this thing on?
clarity truly is
Yes.
what you're seeking.
Grand Rising.
You know what it
Grand
feels like to
Rising.
stand next
I
to somebody that
am.
does
I'm
something
not even going to say I'm late. Grand Rising. Good morning. I'm not going to say I'm late. I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that yesterday was a huge day for me. It really shaped up in the evening. I'm in here listening to Abraham Hicks. I try to start with her early in the morning. She really helps me focus. So yesterday, I actually started concretely on my book. I was working on an outline on paper, and I thought, let me look for an app because I do know that there are apps out there that can help you do anything, protective apps. And I found the app, The Novelist, and it's actually quite helpful for me doing the setup to trying to get the first draft done. And I was so proud of myself yesterday. I stayed on course. I've stayed on course for 4 days now. I have done a BlockCast every day for 4 days. And I'm super proud of myself because I have been just juggling a lot between being a caregiver 24 hours a day, on top of being a mother, and just running my household and my life every day, homeschooling. It's a lot. It's a lot. Last night I was so tired, but I wrote. I got all of my characters together. Well, the beginning, I'm pretty sure there'll probably be more added on as I start writing my events and scenes. I actually started writing on the first theme and scene, the actual beginning of the book. So I was just super, and it just started flowing. It just started flowing because it is a story that I actually lived inside of. But now I have more information. Now I'm in the knowing, or on the knowing end, as opposed to my story before 3 months ago. It was actually just a belief. I'm literally processing this situation through this book. I'm realizing the differences between beliefs and knowing in this situation. And I was not in the knowing. I mean, of course, I trusted everything and anything someone told me about this situation. I believed everything, whatever someone said, because I did not know any better. And writing this book is helping me see something huge. I'm seeing a difference in my life when I was a believer. I was born a believer. I was adopted. After I was adopted and started growing up and asking questions, I was a believer. I wasn't a knower. And it's shocking to me that I lived so long and actually made it just being a believer. Um, this DNA situation has really made me into a knower because it's forced me to go back and look at what I believed. And I realized that I was missing context. I was missing information. I was missing vital information that would have given me a different outcome. It would have gave me a different vibration. It would have given me chance to understand reality instead of a pretty packaged, a package that with a bow on it. already packaged up, everyone involved protected except for me, even though I know everyone involved felt like they were doing the best thing for them. And that is how this society is today. This isn't nothing new. But in a tragedy, there are different rules. What you believe is one thing, but what you know inside of a tragedy can make a difference. So I'm taking steps to keep pushing with this book. I did tell my niece that I was going to start by this summer. I know she was like, "What is wrong with this girl? Please." I was self-sabotaging myself because I really did. I'm going to be honest with myself here. I think that I didn't want to do the work. I didn't want to get vulnerable. I didn't want, because the story is a story with or without me getting vulnerable. But it's not fair to everyone else or myself or my daughter or my descendants to come to not understand from the knowing vibration instead of beliefs. Of course, you want to believe everyone is good. You want to believe that no one makes mistakes. You want to believe that no one will ever forsake you. Yeah, we all want to believe that. We all want to believe that everyone is godly. We all want to believe that. But the reality is 9 times out of 10 times, it just isn't that way. And it's just something that I want to know that happens, and I want to be able to not play a part in being a bad vibration in anyone's life. I grew up feeling that I was just a bad vibration in these people's lives. And I don't look at it now the same way I did when I was just a believer. Now I know why I was so uncomfortable. And now I know information was kept from my adopted family that would have just changed everything. It would have changed everything, I think. And that's a belief. It's something that I don't have proof of. It's something that I believe, and I'm wishfully thinking this. So this book is helping me separate the belief of my entire life. I'm going to morph it into knowing. I'm going to take those beliefs with me and I'm going to dissect each one of them because it just wasn't the truth. It just wasn't the truth. And the reason for it not being the truth, I'll never know. But I'm hoping that this book will give me closure. It will give me, and it will give me closure. It will give me closure to understand that this is the story. This is what happened. There are things that I will not be able to know, but there is so many things that I do know now. And what are you going to do with it? Are you going to let it destroy you? Are you going to let it depress you? Are you going to let it take you out? Or are you going to use it as a gift? I wake up every day and it's just, I never woke up with this feeling before, this balance before. Like if you can't wake up and say, I want to make this goal, I need to achieve this, I want to do this, then something's off. And I'm speaking to myself. If you can relate, then I feel you. Because I've been battling back and forth with myself since day one of my life because of my beliefs that were given to me. School. School made me believe that my history was from a monkey and a boat. Now, as a child growing up, me as an adult looking back at this child, it breaks my heart because I carried that belief until about 5 years ago. That's a long time to have a belief in something that belittles you. It's very destructive. This is why now I speak life to myself. I speak the truth to myself. I've read the bills about the adversities we have had to face for hundreds of years. I'm born from it. I won't run from it. I won't separate myself from it. That's a real conundrum. To not face who you are and walk in your own light is a disservice. I couldn't do that with the beliefs that the people here, the hurt people here before me had. I had to put those beliefs down and I had to study and open my heart and my mind and my spirit so I would be able to see and understand when I saw something that I was supposed to know, not just believe. And it comes with a power. It has a power to it. A belief doesn't have this type of power that knowing does. Because knowing, when you know something is true, and it is true, there's no changing it. There's no erasing it. You can explain it 1,000 different ways. But the fact remains the same. I want to say Grand Rising again to everybody. Who this week flew past. It is Thursday already. Already here for the month is gone. Already half of the month is almost gone. This is going to be another great day. I'm going to get in this kitchen first, cook a little something. And then I'm going to get back to writing. We're supposed to have a snowstorm this weekend, so I'm going to be writing all weekend. It took me a while to get a balance in my mind. And it's amazing that something so traumatic brought this balance on. It's almost as if my spirit already knew it was something. This is why I searched so hard. I never understood my adoption. It just didn't make sense. It still don't make sense. It still doesn't make sense. But as I'm writing, I'm seeing, like it's actually giving me scenes. I can see the scenes. And I don't know, it's starting to, I don't know, maybe by the time I get to the end of this book, I will know more because everything is all over the place. This stuff happened. I didn't even know nothing was going on. So a lot is coming back as I outline and break down different scenes and different characters. And it was the best thing that I ever did was stop and start on this book. Because it's actually a type of therapy for me. I went to hell to get here. Yes, I did. I went through into hell to get here. And there's this lightness to my heart now. It used to be so heavy. When I was walking around with all these beliefs, it was so heavy. I put them down. And it wasn't hard either because those beliefs hurt me. I put them down. I put them down. And I asked the universe to show me. I said, I'm going to look. If I look, you show me where to look. And I'm telling you, I have been introduced by way of vibration to so many different people on so many different mental levels, beautiful levels, high levels. Dr. Venus Opal. Oh my goodness. I don't know. One day she just popped up on my timeline. And I have subscribed to her podcast, Hot Mess Millionaire. Yes, I have. She is a breath of fresh air. There's so much noise out here. It's just so much noise. Noise makes confusion. Noise keeps unity off the plate. This noise reminds me of this beliefs that I had to walk and carry like a cross for decades. What was the antidote? Putting those beliefs down and knowing. I'm not saying that's what everyone should do. I'm not saying what anyone should do. I'm saying what helped me as a human being and as a labeled Negro out here. One whose identity was stolen, one whose culture was manipulated and distorted, the one who was given beliefs about her people that were untrue. I've done the genealogy. Someone lied to me. Someone gave me beliefs that were untrue. Someone gave me beliefs that threw me off a real, true, divine course of life. I want to thank myself for being strong enough to not let those destructive beliefs kill me. I say that with a little bit of anger. I mean that. Those beliefs that I was taught growing up as a child were unhealthy. Very unhealthy. And I'm not saying everyone did that, but the main players bear responsibility. In my past turmoils, I don't have turmoils anymore. I realized that I was lied to. It's just simple as that. I was lied to. I was misled about myself. I was never told the truth about myself. The only person who ever really told me the truth, I do believe to this day, is my birth mom. She didn't tell me much, but I don't think she ever lied to me. Beliefs versus knowing in my reality is a step that I'm glad that I got to yesterday. Because I've got to clean this mess up. I've got to show my daughter how when strained family members or abusive family members, listen, abuse is abuse. I know everyone wants to act like they don't have a part to play and stuff, but yes, you do. You have to show family members, somebody has to show them how to survive with the destruction that we live with of our families every day. Whether you're playing part of it or not, you're either playing part of it or you're dealing with the ramifications of the destruction being there in the first place. But there is a way because you have will. I want to say peace and love to all my family and friends. I mean, all of them. Huge. All of them. Paternal, maternal, and adopted. Paternal and maternal. I love each and every one of you guys. I'm grateful for this experience. I don't wish it on anyone, but I'm grateful for this experience because it has made me someone that I can depend on. One moment at a time, one positive step at a time, one positive thought at a time. And even when I get in my bag, because honey, I have them. I have emotions. I hurt, I anger, I cry. I'm a human being. But I'm learning how to be with myself, my true self. And I wasn't never really given room for that ever. So I'm loving this. I'm loving this growth, sticking to it. I'm sticking to it. Mainly for my daughter. I mean, of course, it's for me. Like, it starts with me. But I see a bigger picture here. My daughter has a lot of adversities she has to face in her life. I have to show her. She has to have an example. We need examples of who we are supposed to be. And if you don't have those examples, you have to do the research and the work so you can be an example. I am an example of you can come from real trauma and you can live in real trauma and you can overcome it. I'm not saying it's easy because it's not. There's a lot of days I have to force myself to do what I have set my mind to do because my mind knows I want to do it. My spirit knows I want to do it, but my inner child shows up and throws a tantrum. Yeah, I don't care. Oh, there's F ever. Little Shelly shows up and tries to throw all the plans out the door, but I battle with myself a lot. A lot of me is never going to be healed. Most of me will because I have promised myself, I promised my mom, even though she never heard this promise come out of my mouth, I promised my mother I'm going to make her proud. But I'm going to make me prouder. I'm going to stand in my truth. I'm going to stand in knowing. No more beliefs. No more of those. I want you to have a beautiful, uplifting, safe, productive day. There are no podcasts like the BlockCast. There can't be because there's no other me. I'm sending you peace and love. I love you. Stay strong, stay diligent, stay aware. Stay aware. Be in the knowing. Sometimes the beliefs are actually can be dangerous. See you tomorrow.